Welcome to today's Michelleology Evolution of Meditation. It is Satisfying Sunday. It is Soulful Sunday. Today is the day that we come into the mindfulness of who we are in God. Today we're on principle number 7. Principle number 7 is the law of gender. And the law of gender is not what you think it is. When we say gender, the very first thing that we think about is male and female. But the law or the principle of gender does mean a masculine and a feminine part. And so based on what we know about the mind is where we're going to go with this principle of gender. So a while ago, God gave me a revelation about since I studied psychology, he gave me a revelation about the brain. The brain has two parts. There's a left side and there's a right side. And the left side is the side that tries to figure out everything, tries to relatively figure out how this is going to do, where this is going to go, all the semantics of figuring out. The right side is the creative side. It's the artistic side. It's the mode where new things are birthed. It doesn't look for a logic. It just sees something and begins to move into the creation. Well, the revelation that God gave me was that the left side was the masculine side. The right side was the feminine side. The left side is the Adam side. The right side is the Eve side. And so you really cannot exist properly without the other. So the Adam side, the left side, the relative side has to marry the right side, the Eve side, the creative side. And as they come together, they become one, and that forms the marriage, which is the principle of gender. You have to have a masculine and a feminine part in order to come together to create fruit within your life. So you can't just try to figure out something. You have to create something. And you can't just create something. You have to fit it in to figure out. When it all comes together, comes to the law of gender. That principle causes everything to be in its wholeness, causes everything to come forth. Really doesn't have a great deal to do with sex more than it has to do with the spirituality or the mental or the emotional. It does include sex when you talk about feminine and masculine, as far as being fruitful, coming together, and the seed coming together, being fertilized and creating fruit or being or newness. So the principle of gender just advises you that there are two parts to creation. There's a masculine part, which is the giving part. There's a feminine part, which is the receiving part. So as a man soweth, so shall he reap. So as you bring those two together, you're going to always produce something. You're going to always produce fruit. You're going to always produce a seed. And so we produce after our own kind. So in our mental thoughts, in our emotional thoughts, we have to take the Adam part. We have to take the Eve part. Without each other, it cannot come together to balance you out, to bring you to a point of your thinking. When you're creating, when you are creating, you come up with this great idea, but then you have to go to the left side to say, okay, I have this great idea. So how is each part going to fit together to work together? So as we can't say that the masculine is greater than the feminine, and we can't say the feminine is greater than the masculine. They both come together to work together to become one. So that's the true marriage, when your left side of your brain and your right side of your brain come together as one, and they work together to form a fruit, and you can become fruitful and multiply. So it is the present time for us to operate in the law of gender. It is time for us to come together in our spirituality, in our life in general. It is time and cause things to flourish, cause the fruit to flow, cause multiple things to expand in our life, to be conscious of where we're going, how we're going to get there. And it's just the marriage. We become one. We become one with God. We become one with our true being. We grow in love with our soul. When our soul and our spirit comes together, when the principalities, all the principles, all the 7 laws that we've gone on the last 7 days, if you have not join me for those 7 days, go back, because they all work together mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, to make you whole. So God has allowed these principles to come. As a man soweth, that shall he reap. It's all coming together. We're in the harvest time. In order for us to harvest the psychological part of our lives, we have to expand. We have to embrace the law of gender. So that's just a little briefing. Again, as we're ending this series of the 7 principles of God, I still will recommend that you get this book. It's called The Kabbalah. It will break down all the 7 principles. It will cause you to have a revelation on your life. It will cause you to open up your mental and receive in information. One point I want to make to you about education. Education is not what we have labeled it to be. The word education comes from a word that says within. So that means everything within us is our education. So we have to go within. It's not about a book, although a book can open up that inner seed that's already in you. Let me give you a point. What if I tell you we know everything? Have you ever had somebody tell you, you think you know everything? They've told me that before. I say I do, because God is in me and God knows everything. And so the education, the Spirit of God is in me. It is not what's outside of me that educates me. It is what's born on the inside of me that educates me. So what we're doing in meditation is educating you in the innervolution, the evolution of your inner being causes you to be educated, as we know more when we go within. And if we continue to receive information from the outside, it is an outside interference. The education grows from the inside. So when we come into meditation on a daily basis, and listen, there's no particular form or fashion for your meditation. You have to hear what the Spirit is saying. I'm only providing you with tools. The Spirit will teach you and lead you and guide you to all things. What I offer to you is what works for me. You may have to tweak and adjust some things, but I just come on to kind of guide you into a place of meditation. So we're going to get into the meditation this morning. I want you to begin to straighten your spine if you're able to get in the stance of crossing your legs, sitting on the floor, sitting on the bed, or if you want to do it laying down, you can, or you can do it sitting in a chair. But you want to straighten your spine, because remember, your energy points, your chakras are on your spine, and you want to be able to keep them in alignment so that when you breathe from the bottom, which is your root chakra, from the base of your spine, or from in the front at the top of your pubic area, is where you want to bring your breath from. You want to bring it from the bottom, bring it up till you reach the top. And remember that I told you as a baby, this was a soft spot. But because we've gotten so hard-hearted in God, this is where God crown chakra is. This is where babies receive the imagination. Babies will always receive an imagination. But grown people who are have a hard time receiving or creating imaginations. Imaginations does not mean that you are not mentally stable. Okay, so an imagination is we are in the image of God. That God, in a sense, imagined us. And as he imagined us, he began to call us forth, created what he saw. And then he created it from the inside, then manifested on the outside and began to say it's good. So we need to go into our imagination, begin to create some things for our lives. Okay, so let's breathe from the bottom. Close your eyes. Hold it. Release. One more time. Breathe in. Feel that air Feel those lungs release. This causes you to relax. Anytime you're tense or you're getting angry and upset, begin to deep breathe. One more time. Feel your shoulders relaxing, which is most of the time where your tension is. Remember, the government is on your shoulders. It's mental, you're mental. As you begin to clear your mind, the tones in the background are 999 hertz of frequency to clear your soul, to refresh you, to bring you back to where you're supposed to be. So take a moment to just listen to those tones as it begins to penetrate your soul, clear your mind, bring you into true consciousness. Okay, today, as we talk about, I want you to imagine a wedding. And this is imagining your left side of the brain and your right side of the brain coming together in a marriage. And as they become one, then you stop the double-mindedness in your life. As you see your left side and your right side of your brain, your Eve and your Adam, coming together, making a vow to be one so that it can imagine and create the very things that you will to be in your life. The focus, you're going to focus on the oneness. You're not going to have one thing saying over here and one thing going over here. You're going to come together as one. When you begin to do that, you begin to come into accord, in harmony, in your thinking, in your thoughts, in your mind, in your process, in your life. Everything becomes one. There is not a pulling from one side to the other. It is a connection with your mind, your heart, bringing it all together, clearing out the division. A house divided will fall, so you have to mentally keep your brain on one accord in the oneness of God, so that you can hear what the Spirit is saying, so that you can view your steps that God have ordered, so that you can manifest the very thing that you've been wanting, but now you will to happen. You can write the vision and make it plain in your mind. You can see a whole picture of what it is that you're willing to create for your life. You can embrace the consciousness. So see yourself becoming one. Envision the number one. Envision one in your mind. And see the straightness of the one. It is up and down. It is complete. There's no division. And as you see that, see your life in the oneness, becoming one with God. Your brain becoming one, the left side and the right side. Just see the wholeness of yourself. You've been pulled this way and that way, but now you're coming into your oneness, your creativeness, your boldness, your powerfulness, your creative stance of whatever it is you will to be. And as you experience that, experience how you're feeling. Are you feeling tingling? Are you feeling chills? Are you feeling excitement? When you become one, there is no division. Your soul is renewed. Your breath is restored. Your mind is working at its finest. Take a breath there. Plant it in your memory. And we are back. Yes. coming oneness in your mind, knowing that there's a feminine and there's a masculine, the left brain and the right brain coming together in a marriage, becoming one, causes you to plant seeds, and seeds begin to manifest as you begin to imagine. God made us an image. We're an image of God. So you have to see images just as he saw us as an image. You have to see your images of creation as to how you will for your life to go, how you will for the change in your life to go, how you will. We have to live this life purposely. We have to live it right now. We can't say in 2 years I'm going to do this. We don't know what's going to happen in 2 years. You have to start right in your present moment. That's why God gives us the present, our right now, so that we can enjoy. Today, I'm going to admonish you to enjoy today, to enjoy yourself, who you are, who you're becoming, who you're being in this present moment. Enjoy yourself, and then enjoy your family. Enjoy your accomplishments. You must celebrate your small beginnings. Whatever it is, celebrate it. Smile about it. Look in the mirror and celebrate how you look, who you are. Your defining moment is when you celebrate who you are. Then you won't have a problem celebrating who other people are. You won't have a problem. You won't be judgmental of other people when you celebrate you, your accomplishments, whatever you've done in the last day or so, whatever you do today, mission accomplished. Set an image, an imagination. At the end of the day, you say, mission accomplished. I have done what the Spirit has employed me to do. Well, this is Michelle, and I am your motivator. I'm your meditator, your motivator, your innovator. I'm all of those things, here to provide you with the tools. We have completed, mission accomplished, 7 principles of God. We are excited about that. Go back and review principle 1 to principle 7. Put it together. Let God speak to you. You've been created by the Creator to be creative. So start your creating your creations and stop duplicating others. May your satisfying Sunday be the best Sunday you've ever had. Enjoy the sun. See the light coming through the window. Enjoy that. Get out. Take a walk. Take a breath. Enjoy nature. Just look at what God has done. Look at the sky. Look at the trees. Feel the wind. Experience the sun. Have you ever just went out and just experienced the day? That cost you no money to just walk outside or wherever you live and just look around and see the greatness of God. We can look at the bad things and talk about it and be sad about it, murmur about it. But come on, let's look at today. Look at our lives. Look at how God has kept us. We're not, what I always say, we're not under the ground. We're on top of the ground. So since you're on top of the ground, let's be intentional. Let's be creative. Let's celebrate who we are in God. May your day be filled with love, power, joy, and a sound mind. This is your soul food for today. I know you're going to have some collard greens or something, but just before you have that, this is a soul food. I love you. Praise God for you. Thank you for joining. Please share. Please go back to the replay and listen and begin to move in something great in your life. Be blessed.